I was speaking to a dear friend of mine this morning, and they said that, why do we have to be always so polite? Especially if we are close friends, we can just give up these formalities and we can just be very direct with each other. And the motive behind their statement was that sometimes all of this politeness, saying thank you or all of these formalities like saying please, thank you, sorry, should not be there between true friends, between people who are close to you. And my first thought was that how do we decide what is right and what is wrong? Because it all comes from a limited thought. And the thought is that I should not be wrong. So I told them that I said, why can't we just be the way we are? Why cannot we accept ourselves the way God has created us? So if it is my nature to be polite, if it is my nature to praise someone when they do good work, why should I abandon that and become somebody else and try to force myself into some other line of thinking? And it is true that sometimes people who are too polite or too nice underneath have a very negative vibe. But for people who are intuitive, they can detect that. And I think it is not something that is universally applicable. It's not that everybody who's polite or nice is underneath someone who has some ulterior motive. And it is also true that not all people who are rude are underneath bad people. Sometimes a person may seem across as rude or impolite, but underneath the vibe gives safety. So my discussion with my friend was that if we are quiet enough, if we are silent, we can detect the vibe and then we can act correspondingly. But why should I change my nature, or why should I expect the other to change their nature based on what I feel is right or wrong? Who decides these rules? There are no fixed rules about these things. So, for example, it is in my nature to praise someone when they do good work. And sometimes the other person may perceive that as a bit of fake. And when they perceive that as fake, it's got nothing to do with me, but it's their own conditioning that says, oh, how can I be so good? It can be just their fear that I'm not worthy enough to be praised. So why is this person praising me? If I'm not worthy and this person is praising me, then that means there is some ulterior motive, or that he or she himself or herself is a fake. And then there is a fear that I may be dealing with a complete phony, a complete charlatan, a complete dishonest person. and then we try to distance ourselves from them. But it's not got anything to do with the other person. It's just the nature of me to create doubt for itself, to create feelings of unworthiness for itself. And then this me mind finds a solution, a worldly solution. After listening to teachers and talks, it says that, oh, so one should be like this and one should not be like that. So, we create a template in our mind. Why can't we just accept people the way they are? Why can't we just let them be? And why can't we accept ourselves the way we are? Why do we have to limit ourselves to one particular line of thinking and also do the same for others? And this is generally based on conventional ideas that how a person should be. Society gives us a blueprint of how an ideal person should be or should not be. And from one generation to another, from decades, people are trying to create these ideal human beings which never existed. They did not exist in the past. They did not exist now. And they are never going to exist in the future because we are in duality. And duality means that we are going to have people who are polite and nice, and we are going to also have people who are polite and not very nice underneath. And also, we are going to have people who are rude but nice underneath, and also people who are rude but not very nice underneath. And of course, we can maintain our distance from such people based on the vibe, not on the words, because people can fool us with our words. Words don't hold any meaning. But the energy, the vibe, gives away everything. But that requires a very calm mind. You will not be able to detect, so as to speak, a person's vibe if your own mind is cluttered with incessant chatter, if you are full of doubt, if your mind is ruminating, constantly ruminating, and constantly preoccupied with negative internal chatter, you will not be able to detect people's true vibe. You will not be able to know the true energy behind people's words. So rather than trying to put a condition on life as to how people should be or should not be, why don't we just accept them the way they are? So if somebody has this habit of saying thank you and please in all situations, even when it is not required, why can't we just accept them that they are that way? If we feel that their vibe is not nice underneath, we can keep our distance. We don't have to engage with them. But at the same time, we don't have to condemn them either. We don't have to hold any grudges against them. We can distance ourselves if we wish to. We can go a bit quiet, that's fine. Because we don't get to know, but sometimes we ourselves keep changing. Sometimes we are polite, sometimes we are impolite, even to our closest friends. And that's all okay. That's all fine. It's a part of this duality. True relationships, true friendships, there is a mutual understanding that this is going to happen. And it is never a deal breaker. In true friendships, this aspect of humans being a bit unpredictable is accepted. Let me give you an example. Let's say you had a chat with your friend at night and they were extremely happy and ecstatic. And then in the morning, you call them up again, uh, call them with the intention of telling them that how much you appreciated the, the last night's conversation. And all of a sudden, you find that their mood is now just the opposite. Their energy is just the opposite. And then you feel disappointed because you wanted to express your appreciation for last night's conversation. But here now the energy is completely different. Maybe the other person is not receptive at all. But that is fine. That is okay. All you can do is still give that appreciation, even when it is not received. You can still give them. And it will not hurt if you give it unconditionally. That means even if they don't reciprocate, it's fine. But you have given them your best wishes. You have told them how much you appreciated the time that they spent with you. And I think that is the way we can have harmony in friendships, when we keep in mind that people can be sometimes not in their full form. People can be feeling low at different times. And you can just, diffuse the situation with a little bit of a humor, and then just give them the time and space they need to sort out whatever is going on. And just tell them that if they need anything, you're there. So if they want to reach out, speak about something, you're always there. What we are finding in the modern world is that people are just finding excuses to shut down other people based on what they read online. Just when somebody has a bad mood, we start labeling them as personality disorders, as having certain traits that are conventionally called ailments. We start labeling them and we start distancing ourselves from them. And then we find ourselves extremely lonely. This whole problem of loneliness is because we are trying to fit ourselves according to a template that is being given to us by the society, by random people. And we are buying that template on social media forums from random people who probably don't have a clue of what life is, what living is, what relationship is, what friendship is. They are just swinging in their moods from one end to the another. And they are giving advices, a lot of advices. Well, even this talk may seem like an advice, but it is not, because I'm still giving you the option that you can do that if that feels good to you. You can seek the template, society's template. You're allowed to do that if you want to do that. But in my personal experience, there is no fixed template of how a person should or should not be. That will make you feel better. On the contrary, if you get too concerned following the template, you're going to find yourself lonely. You're going to lose your peace of mind. So why not just accept people the way they are, the way God has created them or Source has created them? If you don't like the word God, replace it by Source. Why can't we accept people the way they are? Because to say that somebody should be like this or should not be like that is interference in God's work, because a person is precisely the way they are according to the cosmic law or the will of the Source or the will of the God. They did not choose to be that way. The conditioning, the childhood, the social interactions, the cultures and the traditions that they were exposed to, all of that brought about that conditioning in them. So, sometimes people are, for me at least, I allow people to be hypocritical too sometimes. Sometimes I can be hypocritical too. Sometimes we human beings can be insecure also, afraid also, and that is fine. But when the society gives us a template that, oh, insecurity is a very bad thing and you must not be insecure, then you become even more insecure trying to fix your insecurity. All the gurus, all the masters, all the teachers who think that they are completely free from all these fears and insecurities are probably not in touch with their inner core, because the human, the animal aspect remains even after spiritual awakening or even after reading all the philosophy. It cannot be eliminated. The only possibility for harmony, for peace, is when one accepts their true nature. So if insecurity is there, it is there. If jealousy, malice, or envy is there, it is there. These things become worse when we try to find a solution. Rather than finding a solution, just look into them. Look at the nature of what they are. And just by looking, you will be free. You will be free of these things. That does not mean they go away. What that means is you will accept that that is a part of human conditioning and that we have to live with that for the rest of our lives. And of course, there is a change when one is able to look at it unfiltered and undistorted. The change is that those insecurities, those jealousy or malice or envy, they are not carried forward in horizontal time as suffering. When seen for what they are, they just drop away. But yes, in the moment, one does feel the intensity of it. So my point is that we can accept other human beings even with all of these traits. Now, the level to which you want to engage with them, that's your personal choice. You may want to engage at a very minimal level or not engage at all. Not engage at all. But to label a person toxic or negative, or to think that that is the only trait they have, or to call them labels like a narcissist or a sociopath, just because they exhibit rude behavior, or they are too polite, or they behave in a way that you think is not right, is creating divisions, is creating disharmony in friendships and relationships. So this was something I wanted to share with you this morning. I hope you all have a great day. Take care of yourself.